welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking you through the 4 stages of online experts. So the natural progression and evolution as you grow your business and scale. This is a fantastic insight to understand 2 things. One, to understand where you're currently at, because it's good to be very self-aware and see maybe some of the missing pieces that might be putting a cap on your business model, scaling and growing. And the second thing is it can probably give you some answers into where you need to be thinking about in the future, because ambition and aspiration is wonderful, but it's good to be insightful and knowledgeable about how you actually get there instead of just hoping that you'll get there. So we're going to be going through 4 specific stages. So awkward teen, rising star, evolving maven, and then the final one, 1% experts. And obviously why we're called that is because we've worked with a lot of 1% experts and every on this list. And the first point I want to make before I delve into each of them in detail is that the key thing is at every single stage that you move through each of these 4 stages, it's like being in a different league or rising up the leagues in a sport. So a football club going from League 2 to League 1, Championship to Premiership, it's the same sort of thing. When you get promoted from League 2 to League 1, you might need to buy new players, change staff. Some of the things that made you successful will help, but there'll need to be new things to make you more successful. So let's start at the awkward teen stage. So this one for people, they really understand this deeply when you even say the word an awkward teen business. It's that business that is not 100% clear on its identity. There's a lot of instability in the life of that awkward teen, the same way as an awkward teen business. And it's characterized by a few things. Like typically they're unstable between the 0 to 5K months. You have about 0 to 5 below average leads or sales calls. So leads can obviously be, a lead can be an email given to you. But in this way that we're talking about leads is having calls or real decision points where people are making a decision to work with you, to give you a yes or no. And you tend to get quite a low amount. And then the actual leads that you get tend to be below average. So they're not ready to buy. They're not really designated to be a really good customer avatar. The other things you can see here, low visibility and reach. So maybe not big reach on social media, email lists, and anything where you can share what you do is not very low. You don't have that much leverage there. Low MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue, if you don't know. So that means it's sort of boom and bust, or it's always like that stressful feeling at the beginning of the month because you don't have a consistent amount of income coming through. It's also associated with poor systems and automation. And also your offer, message and niche is not firing. So the offer that you have is like the same as everybody else or quite generic. Your message is very generic and is not really hitting on your clients' pain points or solutions. And just the niche as a whole that you got may not be correct, maybe again too general, but it's just not really fitting. And the other common thing is that you tend to have no support. So you tend to be a one-person band or DIYing and bootstrapping your business. Nothing wrong with a bit of DIY and bootstrapping. It's very difficult to get out of the awkward teen stage if you're not really backing yourself in terms of time, money, resources, putting in so that your business can grow. Business is a lot like a plant, right? If you don't water the plant's going to die. So the awkward teen stage is probably the most difficult stage. There's difficulties at every stage, but a lot of people, the majority of people stay in this awkward teen stage. And I think the things I see quite a lot is people are quite stubborn and a bit naive in this stage. They're quite naive at the work it requires, the money it requires, the effort that it takes to move from awkward teen to rising star is a lot. But you can shorten that cycle by making the right moves to get towards it. So I want to show you how then we move towards the rising star here. The 3 things that you really need to be looking at, or the most common. Now there's lots of different things of what denotes somebody getting from awkward teen to rising star. And I should also say, just because if you don't tick every single one of those boxes, it doesn't still mean that you're not an awkward teen. It's if you tick quite a few of them, it's probably that your business is a mix of awkward teen with some sprinkles of rising star at that stage. Okay, so you're not going to be every single one in there. So please don't come back to me and shout and say, "Well, Sam, I have something that evolving maven has." You might do, but we want to sort of go with where the most aspects of who your business is right now, what your business is right now that fits this. Anyway, coming back to what I was talking about, to get to the rising star stage, there's lots of different things to get there, but the three key ones I see is one, starting to look at differentiation. So differentiate in your message, your offer, especially your offer, your niche. That's really important to stand out from the crowd. Things like your content as well, start to differentiate it across all of your touch points. Two, I hate to say it, guys, it takes investment. You can get really, really lucky, or you can have some very privileged circumstances. It does happen, but you do need some level of investment in the business, into some sort of support and help. That is every business, not just online expert businesses, but if you're starting up a shop, you need to invest in the stock, or you need to get some good, holders or racks for the clothes, or you need to get staff in. That's just an element of business. You need to have some capital or some cash there in order to invest in the business. And the third thing is building up some structure. So it's making sure that your business runs more seamlessly. Like rising stars still have some issues in the business that we see quite a lot, but it's to make sure that all your processes work well. It's easy to onboard clients, that you can start to automate some things, that you're not swimming uphill and against the stream. It's basically that movement between an amateur structure and a professional structure. So it's a professional business. So what do we see differently in rising stars? Well, rising stars can be classified by a few things. They're typically at the 5K to 10K mark. So you're crossing the six figures at around 7.5-ish K. And so it means you've got some more disposable income, means that you can pay yourself a little bit more. There's a little bit more stability there. So it's stable, 5 to 10K months. So it just takes that sort of nervous system shock every month or every quarter away, which helps you actually start to deliver for your clients a little bit better. That's why moving from here and doing these different things are really important, because it does help you be a better expert. It helps you really help your clients. And the most fundamental thing of how to grow a business is to be very good at what you do and deliver for your clients. If you're stressed beyond all high heaven, it's very hard to do that. So yeah, stable 5 to 10K. Where does that typically come from? Well, on average, you get about 5 to 10 average leads / sales calls, as I described them earlier. This is different if you have medium ticket offers, or you're direct to buy and you don't have, say, a consultation system. I'm speaking in generics and most commonalities here, but 5 to 10 average leads or sales. It means that you're getting better quality leads through, but you get the odd crap lead, okay, that may be a waste of time. Okay, you never get rid of that, even at the highest level, but you're still dealing with a bit of the shit here. And you get about 5 to 10. If you get about 5 to 10 average leads and you have a decent conversion rate, which is anywhere from about 30%, a very good conversion rate is about 50%, as in on sales calls. I know people that have had higher. But if you're doing that, let's say you get the average of that, which is 7, and you're converting 30%, which is, let's say, around the 2 mark, 2 new clients per month with a good lifetime value, you're going to have a nice little healthy business at 5 to 10K. Okay. There's probably more awkward teens out there, but rising stars are the second most. Okay. As we rise up the ranks, the people get fewer and fewer, hence why it's 1% experts, because it's the top 1%. And they're a little bit more rare, but it shouldn't be, because you can learn all this stuff. A lot of it is not difficult. It takes time and hard work and the right type of work, but it's all possible. As long as you're good at what you do, you can do this. So yeah, 5 to 10 average, you get about average visibility and reach. Just to go even more in depth into this, average visibility and reach. It's not so much about your followers. It's about, or your email list or your connections. It's more about the people that are engaging with that. I know rising stars that have got, say, 50 really invested people into what they're doing, like advocates, if you will, like big supporters of what they do, that then become buyers. It's much better than, say, having thousands of followers, to give an example, or thousands on your email list that are, say, have low click-through rates or open rates or things like that. It's better to have a smaller amount that are really bought into you. But you're getting towards that average visibility. You might maybe get invited on the odd podcast. People might take you a bit more seriously. That's where you are at the average visibility. You have baseline MRR, so it means that you're in a place where you're able to cover a salary, so you're getting a few grand of that 5 to 10K is consistent. You're not having to clamber for things as much, so you have a bit of a safety here of things coming over, but it's not too much that you can just chill the fuck out. You have some systems and automations in place, probably some quite basic ones. They maybe even outdated, I would say. Your offer and message and niche are firing at this level. That's the next thing. Okay. So just like I talked about the leagues at the beginning, you have these different leagues, League Two, League One, as I gave the example of football. It's fine at this level. It's probably not going to be firing at the next level, but that's fine. Something's working. You're solving the right problems, getting the right solutions that people are intrigued by it. And then you've got some done with you and done for you support. So instead of you bootstrapping everything and DIYing, you've realized you can only get so far about doing that instead of getting stuck below 5K. You've got some done with you support, so working with good experts, and some done for you support, potentially on some specialized things that really need some help. So some lead gen, email stuff, copywriting, VA, whatever it might be, even some of these things above that we've mentioned, all aspects of your marketing, you're getting some done for you, maybe. Okay, so again, to get to Evolve Maven, doing all the other things more, so like differentiating, more investments, not just resting your laurels, doing even more structure, these all count to get towards Evolving Maven from Rising Star. And I've added these things that are very common that we see to get to Evolving Maven. Either it's typically you either have to look at the paid route for leads, so things like ads or paid messaging or any sort of paid lead generation. That it's either that or it's having excellent content. The problem I see with people are quite fucking deluded, to be honest with you. They go like, yeah, well, I do have excellent content, but they actually don't. I think it's excellent content of things that are really like solving people's issues. People are getting really great value from. They're educated, they're entertained, and then they want to explore that with you. Okay. Very few people have excellent content. To get to that Evolving Maven from Rising Star, you need to have objectively excellent content, like a well-oiled machine through emails or social media, video, whatever it might be. Or as I said, then it's probably the paid lead stuff. Offer suite development is an additional thing. So you're evolving your offers. So you've got a mix of high ticket, medium ticket, low ticket, or elements of high ticket or super high ticket. But the offer suite is looking really fire and it's solving all of your potential audience's problems. And then the third thing is more specialized outsourcing, I would say. So as I said, you're probably investing more as you go through. So the amount that you're investing in your business to run it and to move gets more. Not necessarily proportionally, but just the actual figures, the amount of cash, let's say, and specialized outsourcing. So you might have somebody running your paid leads or make sure you're having excellent content. And then that starts to get an ROI. So if you spend, say, 500 quid on that, you're looking to get 1,500 quid out, let's say. So that's the typical things we see to Evolving Maven. And Evolving Maven at this stage, this is where you're getting into people that is a little bit more rare, but there's loads of people out doing this. And it's such a growing industry, the online world, and being an expert online, whether you're therapists, Pilates teachers, yoga teachers, coaches, the list goes on. Like the amount of people out there that are earning stable 10K to 20K months is vast. It feels like a lot for a lot of people, I would say. But if you're in this, you're more of a rare breed. But it is surprisingly easy when you know how. It's one of those things, right? But let's have a look at them. So it's that 10 to 20K. And again, it's about stability. You may go just above there, but you would have to do a lot of shit wrong in a month. You'd have to like be ill or fuck something up or try something quite risky in order to fall below the 10. Okay. So you tend to have that stability. Now the difference here is, again, you could have still like 5 leads, but it's up to say 15 leads. It's typical, but they're good leads. Your avatar is so honed in and you're disqualifying people that aren't right for you. That you're getting some really good calls a month. You're probably, something I haven't mentioned here is your actual like sales process is really dialed in, and you're coming at sales from a place of service and nurturing and problem solving, which is what gets people sales instead of trying to sell to someone and get them to buy. You have above average visibility and reach. You're probably known in your sector a little bit more now, especially from competitors, but more for an audience that this is one of the go-to people. You probably get invited on podcasts. You're probably bigger podcasts to take you seriously, or just any OPA works or other people's audiences that you can do a lot more of just because you have that authority in your space now. You have good MRR. From multiple offers. So it's just that lovely money just flowing to you. You're seeing these emails coming through. Have I got $1,000 here, 10 grand here, there, which makes you be able to relax within your nervous system and then just focus on growing the business as the CEO, not the grunt and surviving. So it's a lovely place to be. Decent systems and automations. So you invest in good stuff. There's lots of good stuff with AI that you can do. And you've probably got people running this for you, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, and helping you with this. Then now, as I talked about differentiated earlier, but you've got a highly differentiated offer, message, and niche, and it's really firing at this level. Differentiation is massive, as I talked about earlier. And now you have a good amount of done with you and done for you support. Okay, so it's maybe a higher level version of what you need before. You're not like, I would say if you're really struggling at the awkward teen stage, yes, get someone for like 20 quid that might be able to mock you something up. But when you're thinking about someone doing your lead gen or your marketing in general, if you buy cheap, you'll buy twice. Okay, so I would cut that as quickly as possible if you can. And this is where you've got good done with you works. You're working with some great experts. Maybe you see them as part of your team, and you've got some done for you support as well. Okay. Now, getting to 1% expert. So all of these things we mentioned here to get to Evolving Maven, to get to Rising Star, all count at just at different levels rising the league. Then 1% expert, it's really got about a few things. Team management. So you're probably seeing people that you're hiring, so independent contractors or specialists or experts. As a team now, you may be using them cohesively, having group meetings. You could have been doing this before, but we just see this to the highest level after. Doesn't mean that you have to employ staff. A lot of people we work with don't want that. They want like travel freedom and work freedom. They don't want to have to worry about people. But you just manage, say, a team of specialists. I mean, that's what we do. We are a team of specialists that you just basically hire us as an employee almost. Red carpet customer experience. Customer experience is important throughout the whole thing because that's how you get retention and lifetime value, but really rolling out the red carpet so people are staying with you for years, not just weeks or months, okay? And that is it's such an important thing. It's an area that I absolutely love to do, and it's something you should be thinking about from the awkward teen stage. It's just a lot of people don't think about it or miss it. And then finally, they start thinking about new markets at this stage as well. So this is where you can go from, if you've really niched down at the beginning, you can really come out a little bit more. The good example of this is like the Amazon example, like doing books online first. And then they moved, obviously now they do fucking everything, don't they? But think about new markets, maybe new offers that touch on new things. It doesn't mean you can't think about this at Evolving Maven. It's just, this is what we see commonly to help really grow and scale this next level. And what are 1% experts? Well, you're in the 1% if you're a stable 20K to 100K plus months, really. You're about there. Money, and I want to make this point as well, money is just the result. No one that we work with or any 1% expert I've met is like money crazed, like how do I grow? There's an attachment to the money of what it actually means. And that for people is either so they can do more with their time, they can have more experiences, they can build stability in their life so they can relax in some areas and enjoy life's luxuries. It can be providing for others. So the thing for me, like I'll tell you my one, it is about providing for my partner and Sunny as well, my 5-month-old as I'm recording this. Crazy how it's gone fast. But providing for others. It can be many different things that money is, okay? So don't get sucked into, I've got to reach 20K or I've got to reach that 10K or that 5K. Think about what it means, the why behind the numbers. It's so important to have that as your North Star within you when you're reaching these numbers. A lot more meaningful that way. At this stage, you're getting a lot of good leads, and you probably have a team taking these calls for you because I certainly wouldn't want to be on 15 to 30 decision-making calls or whatever. But they're coming through multiple offers, and they're good leads. Your avatar's really dialed in. You know what people suit different offers. It's just all a really dialed in process. You've got excellent visibility and reach, so you're like very well known. Does this mean you have a lot of followers? Typically it does. You tend to have a lot of followers on a massive email list at this stage, in the tens or hundreds of thousands or even millions, some of our clients. So you have that visibility and reach. You're probably paid to be on podcasts at this point, or you're going on massive podcasts that give you huge exposure. Excellent MOR. So it means that you're getting lots of money in just automatically months in advance or 4 months contractually, potentially from multiple offers. Okay. Again, this can be any variation of low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket. High-end systems and automation, so things just flow fluently. It's just a beautifully working system. You're going to have people managing this at this stage, like a lot of this stuff here. And you have a world-class offer, message, and niche. So a lot of people, when they look at these people that are 1% experts, they're like, oh, it's easy for them, or why don't they work with me? I'll be honest with you, they've probably got a world-class offer that is way, way better than yours. Do you get people, if I list all of these things now that are doing these things, can you get people out there that have like what's the word, bullshitted their way or done something shit to get them there. Yes, but they'll get found out and they're not a 1% expert. All of these people here, 1% experts, Evolving Maven, Rising Star, Awkward Teen, the basic premise of all of these people is that they are good at what they do. Without that, none of this is worth it. And it's just, you're going to get found out at the end of the day. I'm not speaking to anyone here that does do that, but it's just an important thing to mention that the foundation of all this is being really, really good at solving a particular problem because you're an expert, okay? You're an expert at what you do. And the final thing is you get world-class done with you and done for you support. So again, you're sort of, as you're scaling up your business, you're scaling up your support, like how much higher touch support you can have in each different areas. Certain things are going to be managed for you. And it's just all flowing really, really well. And then the world's your oyster. You can scale to beyond this, beyond, up to the sort of £1 million, stuff like that. We personally have never worked with anyone doing £1 million months, but I'm sure we will in the future. But this is something that is it is all about what success means to you. So some people can get to a certain revenue level or leads level or visibility level, and that is success for them. It doesn't mean that you have to aim for this. It just shows you what are the stages from this. And this is a wonderful place to be. And all of them are, if you've got a really, really strong why and you know what the numbers mean to you. So hopefully that was helpful to break it all down. Hopefully get some good feedback on this, and anything that I can do to help you with this and lead you from wherever you are right now, once you've figured out, okay, I'm in the Awkward Teen stage or the Rising Star stage or Evolving Maven stage, or I'm at the 1% expert stage, then we can help and support you. Just get in my DMs or my emails or however you want to contact me, and we'll be able to help. So yeah, guys, have a great day. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.